It was late November on a cloudy day when I found myself dancing with persecution on the highest level. As a detective, high tensions and pointed fingers are just a part of the job. Guilt can drive people to blame, and hysteria is a madness that can tear people apart. The evening started as any other. It was a dinner party at Annalise St. Clair's home. As a high-profile member in society, only the wealthiest attended. Those gilded few that gathered possess many secrets. Their guilt lived shallowly, and their actions reflected such.
When will dinner be ready?
Dinner should be ready shortly.
Sounds terrific. Good job.
Landlust, which had been expressed before by constant bickering over boundaries and deeds, could now be elevated to the arena of morality.
This is such a nice property. I hope to get something just like it one day.
Oh, well, actually, it's been in my family for generations.
But would you be willing to sell?
No, never!
So, where are you going on vacation this year?
Nowhere. Money's kind of tight right now. I think I might have to sell the house.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's awful.
Yeah, it is. What's wrong? You seem annoyed.
The old hag won't sell the house.
Like you can afford the house anyways.
Says you, everyone knows you're in debt.
Don't worry about me. I'll have my ways to get the money.
Would you like a drink, sir?
Not now.
It was also, and as importantly, a long overdue opportunity for everyone so inclined to express publicly his guilt and sins under the cover of accusation.
You look lovely.
Thank you.
Samuel, what the hell? You were with her alone?
For a moment, alone.
You're not open with me. You saw her in a crowd, you said.
So are you enjoying the party?
Well, it's not really my type of crowd. These people seem to have altruistic intentions.
I might think of you softly from time to time.
What about Paige?
I will cut off my hand before I reach for her again. Tonight, I am leaving her.
Just
Oh, my lord. Everything's set.
Good. Now we can live lavishly together.
Yes, lavishly. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my grandfather's painting.
Release. She's dead. Poison. It was murder.
We have to call the cops. I'm not gonna wait until something happens to us.
The phones are down.
Well, I'm not staying here.
we can't just leave her here.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? She just died. Why are you so calm? It's like you expected it to happen or something. I just want to leave.
Hey, calm down.
No. Why should I calm down?
Hey,
Don't touch me. It could have been you too.
Man, Nicola is really jumping to conclusions. What are we gonna do about her?
I don't really blame her. Everything she's ever had has been handed to her. I kind of feel bad. She's so alone in the world.
Yeah, you're right.
This is just terrible. I just want to go home.
Who do you think it was? It could have been anybody.
I doubt it, but if I were you, I'd keep a close eye on Nicholas.
Why?
He's been waiting on her hand and foot her whole life, and he barely even gets paid. Rumors she has no one, so his name's down for her house in the will.
You were jealous of her. You did it. She was going to take your husband.
My husband would never leave me. He loves me. It was him. He served the drinks.
No, I'm just the butler. It was Samuel. He's the gold digger. He was gonna marry her and take her money.
No, I love her. It was her. She has a landlust.
What are you talking about? You were jealous of her.
Don't touch me! I know who did it.
Well, who was it?
Well, I found this, and it says Culver Pharmacies, as in Nicolette Culver. She was also conspiring with the butler.
As everyone was conspiring on their own, I sought out the truth. That's when I stumbled across a white residue on the kitchen table. Not far from that, I found the bottle. Nicolette's parents had just passed, and she was overwhelmed by wealth and the responsibilities of her family's successful pharmacy. In attempts to fill the void, she would stop at nothing to buy the house. She would even murder. Suspicions and the envy of the miserable toward the happy could and did burst out. Nicholas was just following orders of his soon-to-be employer.
We're getting out of here.
Let us go! Help!
You guys are crazy!
You guys know too much.
The events that transpired are something that I can't bring myself to speak of. I was the only one able to escape the butler and the despicable heiress. The lives lost were driven by the anger and hatred of rejection by one individual. A young, distinguished woman, her husband with a conflicted heart, and an affluent, alienated individual were all victims to the plague of hysteria. The guilt that lived within each of them put them in peril. Friends turned on friends, husbands turned on wives, and the guests were put through trials of their morality. Their reasons for committing this horrible crime were landlust, jealousy, and greed. Everyone had their own motives, and everyone was a suspect. This grim evening is only one of the many examples of what hysteria can do to the vulnerable and guilty.